Carroll bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
I don't know what it is that makes me love you so. I only know I never wanna let you go. 'Cause you started something, don't you see? That ever since we met you had a hold on me. It happens to be true. I only wanna be with you.
Hello, I'm Phil Catchpole and welcome to this week's episode of Ringing the Blues, the official Wycombe Wanderers podcast / radio show. On this week's show, we have all the action and reaction from that game at Stevenage, plus Jayden Wilkins joins us for Till Death Us Do Part for some wonderful Wycombe Wanderers memories. But first, let's head to Mexico City for the full Liga Juan results with Uri.
We are ringing the blues from Mexico City. It's me, Uri, and here are the results for League One. Wigan Athletic 1, Cheltenham Town 1, Cambridge United 0, Peterborough United 1, Barnsley 2, Derby County 1, Blackpool 4, Bolton Wanderers 1, Bristol Rovers 2, Carlisle United 1, Burton Albion 0, Northampton Town 2, Charlton Athletic 0, Portsmouth 0, Exeter City 1, Fleetwood Town 1, Oxford United 1, Leyton Orient 2, Port Vale 0, Lincoln City 2, Reading 2, Shrewsbury Town 3, Stevenage 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0. So, Wycombe Wanderers goalkeeper Max Strijek was shown a red card early in the second half. So, Chairboys Spanish this week, a straight red card. So, how do we say card in Spanish? Tarjeta. And red? Well, we say rojo. Straight? Directo or directa. So, straight from the Latin diregere or directus. It's the same etymology. So, a straight red card in Spanish, una tarjeta roja directa for the goalkeeper Max Strijek, el portero Max Strijek. So, that's it, and back to England with my amigo Filiberto Cachapollos. Until next week, adios.
Cheers, Uri. Right then, let's head to Hertfordshire and to the Lamex Stadium. Wycombe Wanderers taking on Stevenage. Joe Jacobson joined us on commentary.
Kone comes away with it, feeds it to the right-hand side. Kadu is away on the right wing, eating up the turf. Kadu cuts it back, looking for Sadlier. Stevenage defender near post. McCarthy comes to take the throw. Here he goes again, Jason McCarthy. Gets the ball back from the throw, puts the low ball in and wins a corner. It's good stuff from Wycombe. It's a decent start from the Chairboys. Tafazzoli's back on the pitch and he's in the penalty area. There's a whole queue of players here.
Is this what they call the bus stop?
Indeed. Many believe Southgate invented it, but we all know it was Richard Dobson.
Oh, 100%, yeah. It's funny, I've never seen a bus stop though where four players face one way and four players face another way.
Ball goes to the back post. Tapazzoli's broken clear. Ooh. Heads it onto the angle of post and bar, yeah. Very narrow angle. That would have been some header from that position to put that in. Long Wycombe Strick having a mix-up in the area. Stevenage still on the ball now. Roberts goes back to Freeman. Everyone back in their right place now. Edge of the penalty area. Shot comes in deflected.
Well done.
And it's Long Wycombe Strick there on different pages. Long Wycombe putting the ball back to Strick, who was coming off his line. Back to Freeman on that left-hand side. Freeman then has to use Butler. Butler controls, then goes long left-footed towards Sweeney and Piergiani. Piergiani wins the header, drops to Sweeney in the penalty area. Tapazzoli gets a foot in. Piergiani, goal! Drills it left-footed into the bottom corner. Wycombe couldn't clear their lines with the ball into the box. And Stevenage have sparked to life in the last 2 minutes, and it's brought them a goal. Stevenage 1, Wycombe 0. McCarthy Goes back to Scowen. Cross comes in. It's cleared by Piergiani to the edge of the box. Butcher hits it into the ground. Kadua! Oh, and it's a save by Ashby Hammond. Chance for Wycombe. Second for Kadua of the afternoon. Striek goes long, right-footed. Towards Kone. Does well to win the header against Sweeney. Second ball though cleared by Butler, and it goes through to Robert Striek. Comes out and takes down the attacker. And that is a free kick to Stevenage. And what's the decision of the referee going to be here? Striek has scythed down Roberts.
Yeah.
And Striek has got away from... It's a red. Max Striek sent off in the 47th minute. He came racing out of his area. He took Roberts down.
It's quite rash, wasn't it? I don't know if Taft just misjudged the header and Maxi came out and they both of them missed the ball, really. I think Maxi was waiting for Roberts to touch the ball round him. But to be fair, Joe Lowe was quite far back in the covering position. But it was as much dangerous tackle as it was than anything else. Maxi didn't really have any complaints there, and you know, Franco's going to have to come on. I'm not sure who's going to get. Yeah, Maxi doesn't look too, you know, angry about the decision, does he? He looks like he's just, you know, made a mistake there. And
well, the hero from Wednesday night, Max Striek, shown a straight red by Darren Drysdale. Van Kooten waved back on. Vokes on the edge of the area. Vokes now trying to dig out a shot. Big shout for handball, waved away by the referee. Sadlier down the lines, made the run. Sweeney's gone across, but Sadlier's got it now on the left-hand side, and he's got away from Sweeney. Sadlier gets to the byline, cross comes in looking for Vokes.
It's a penalty.
Surely that's a penalty. McCarthy into the box again. Wheeler sides in, doesn't connect.
It has to be a penalty.
The fans behind the goal absolutely convinced, but they would be. McCarthy on the right-hand side, clips across in again. Wheeler gets up. Piergiani does enough, and Stevenage clear their lines. To Wheeler. Wheeler who's added some real guile on this right-hand side. Comes across to Scowen. Scowen finds Leahy. Leahy crosses into the box. Can't beat Van Kooten. Clearance to Scowen. Butcher edge of the box. McCarthy cuts it back to Butcher. Butcher sets himself, curls it just past the top corner. Goes down towards Wheeler. Bounces behind Vokes. Vokes has the ball on the right wing. Uses McCarthy. McCarthy sets himself. Puts it into the box looking for Wheeler. Heads down to Leahy. Shot on the first time blocked by Piergiani. Leahy back into the box again. And the full-time whistle goes. Stevenage have won this one 1-0. Wycombe made it even more difficult in the second half with a straight red card for Max Striek coming out of his area and fouling his man. And injury to Kane Vincent-Young as well. Leahy furious at the end as well. His shot right at the end there, it was a sweet strike, wasn't it? But Piergiani, I guess, summed up the performance today by getting in the way of it.
It did, yeah. And look, when you get that many defensive-minded players, you're going to get blocks and you're going to get your head onto things. I thought it was a bit of a dangerous game for Stevenage to keep doing that, because they invited a lot of pressure at the end. And in the end, it looked like we were the ones who had 11 men against their 10. But, you know, spirited display at the end. Couldn't quite get that big chance. Butch came closest, probably with his left foot closing the effort, it just went wide. But apart from that, you know, the penalty shout of Vokesy as well when he's wrestled to the floor, which, you know, one day he'll get a decision for him. But you know, the first 20 minutes of the game we were really good. We controlled the game. We got in some really good positions, and you know, Stevenage they turned it into a bitty game. Set pieces. They scored from one. They had several. We defended a lot of them really, really well, but in the end we just couldn't quite get that moment to get a goal, and unfortunately it's a 1-0 defeat.
A narrow defeat and a frustrating one at times, I guess.
Yeah, disappointing when you lose a game, of course. But in terms of the way we started the game, we made the changes to bring energy, and I thought for 20 minutes we were very, very good. Played the game in Stevenage's half, found some good flow to our play, and I thought we had the energy that we wanted. Unfortunately, the game got a bit bitty, and we don't defend a situation well enough where it's, you know, loaded up into our box. We should have defended that situation better. And then obviously the game becomes very bitty after that stop-start, and we struggled to get a bit of flow until the last 15 minutes with 10 men that we've really stepped on, and should have had 2 penalties. So we're obviously really disappointed to come away without
You would have had a big half time, but then the red card to Max Strick so soon into the second half, I guess, would negate a lot of that.
Yeah, we had a big half time and we had a plan of what to do second half, how we were going to make changes and go and we believed we could still win the game at that point, even being 1-0 down. By the way we played in the first half, I felt the game was there for us. So, yeah, of course, the sending off then changes that, and you have to think about your changes and your shape. So, but the way we rallied at the end, the way the boys brought the fresh energy, the finishers, like I say, should have had 2 penalties. So we're disappointed to walk away with nothing.
Thoughts on the red card? The correct decision?
My first instinct is yes. I know that Taff and Joe are trying to get back on the cover, but yeah, I think it probably just about was.
And you talk about the penalty situations. One certainly very late on Sam Vokes when the cross is hung in, looks to be have been pulled down.
Yeah, and I'm told that the reason he didn't get it was because he's big enough to look after himself. So I don't understand why there's different rules for Vokesy to why that should play any part. It baffles me why Sam never gets any free kicks, doesn't get any penalties because of his size. If it's a foul, it's a foul irrespective of the player. There's not different rules for people who are bigger than others. It baffles me.
An injury though to Kane Vincent-Young, and it looked to be a muscle injury, pulled up straight away.
Yeah, it looks like a quad injury, so we don't know how severe that is at this point. Like you say, he pulled up straight away. We hope it's not too severe because unfortunately Kane had a hamstring earlier in the season. We've tried to manage his minutes recently to guard against anything, but yeah, we'll have to see how that settles down. And the double sub on 31 minutes, one of those was for Kane Vincent-Young, but Nigel Londvik as well. Was that because he was on a yellow? Yeah, it was, yeah. Yeah, it just felt like... it was that kind of game? Yeah, it was that kind of game. Yeah, I wanted to get the right words. It was that kind of game, and we're just doing it for protecting him. We didn't want to go back down to 10 men early. So, yeah, it just felt like it was on a knife edge every time he went near the ball. So it felt like the right thing to do. Not much time between now and the next game, Tuesday night home to Cheltenham, and we know how physical and hard that game's going to be as well because we only played them the other week. Absolutely, yeah, another tough game. I watched them against Wigan last night. Good team, really well organised. Daryl's done a great job there. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough game, but we have to recover. Busy schedule, we have to recover and look forward to the game because we're at home. We want to play the way we've been playing recently, and at times the way we play today. So if we can take that into Tuesday night, we'll look forward to it. A defeat for the Chairboys, and we've heard from Matt Bloomfield, but what did the Stevenage fans make of the game? Well, here's the opposition view. Matt Farley.
What a win! It was huge for the team to win that after the recent blip. 56 points, 1 point off the playoffs with 13 to play. We couldn't, could we?
Hitchinborough.
Oh, we needed that, but we were completely devoid of confidence out there. I hope this result is the turning point. Plus, we need a few injuries back.
Time is but a concept.
Not the best game, but I'm glad Borough are back on the winning side. Although we should have managed the game better after the sending off without the need for the last 10 minutes of panic stations. Cheer up, Stevie Evans.
R. Gilbert.
Beautiful stuff. Mind you, we're lucky that Wycombe are effing awful.
Forest Borough 35.
I'm very happy with a scrappy 1-0 win. Thanks for the 6 points this season, Wycombe.
Tony Smith.
Wycombe beat us 15-9 on fouls, had one shot on target and complained continually to the referee.
Billy Pip-Hoker.
I much prefer the current soft-centred Wycombe team, specialists in losing. I'd rather win matches than watch good, attractive players losing to poor sides week in, week out like they do.
James Merry.
I've never seen a team jump on players before and then ask for a penalty. Stevenage were bad, but Wycombe were absolute horse crap. I hope they get battered on their big day out at Wembley.
Liam Deere.
It wasn't the best game, but Stevenage easily deserved the points. And if the Wycombe lot think their team play champagne football, they're deluded.
KT 120.
Bring on all the salty Wycombe fans having a meltdown just because Stevie does some fist bumps.
Brad.
Thanks for the 6 points and good luck in your relegation battle, Wycombe.
Muggins licence payer.
It would be wonderful to see Stevenage playing in the Championship. As a kid, watching Stevenage Athletic in the Southern League, even league football was a bit of a pipe dream. Boy, how we have grown.
It's that time of the show. Till death us do part. Your football club is like a marriage. You choose them and they're yours for life. No matter how bad or good it gets, you stick with them through thick and thin. And this is where we talk to Wycombe Wanderers fans about their beloved memories of this wonderful, wonderful club. This week, we've got Jayden Wilkins. Jayden, how are you?
Yeah, very, very good, mate. Thank you. Bit disappointed from yesterday, but, you know, that's football, isn't it? I suppose we're on the up. We got a trip to Wembley to look forward to. So overall, I'm happy.
The highs of Wednesday night to a trip to Stevenage. If that doesn't sum up supporting a lower league football club, what does?
Yeah, it's bang on, honestly, going from winning, going to Wembley to Stevenage. It's a bit of a fall from grace, isn't it? But
there we go. Right. Where does it all start for you, this journey with Wycombe Wanderers?
So I was born in 2003, which was obviously quite a while, 13 years after Wycombe moved to Adams Park, and I was born on the old hospital car park in the maternity wards at High Wycombe Hospital. So it's sort of always been in my blood, really, that I was bound to be a Wycombe fan, obviously being born at the old site of the old ground. But yeah, we moved down to Devon in 2005. I was 2-3 years old, and I started off with football. My dad used to play for Aylesbury, Chesham, so he's sort of big on football. Liked a lot of wanted to get me into it from a young age. So I started following Man United. Not too sure why, really. Just as you do when you're younger, you pick a Premier League club, and Man United were doing well at the time. I think this was the time around Berbatov and that Rooney was in his prime. So yeah, I started off with them, and I didn't really know Wycombe actually had a club until I was about 7 years old, and it was Torquay United away, I think, in 2009 or 2010. Dad just said, "Do you want to go down one day?" Tuesday night game. Obviously, probably wouldn't be many fans there because Tuesday night's a long old way to go. I think we were League Two that time, but yeah, we went down. It was a 0-0 draw. I think Matt Bloomfield did actually play, so it just really sums up how long he's been round. But yeah, that was my first sort of memory of Wycombe, going to that Torquay game, and it sort of spurred on from there. And just as I got older, I've really started to follow the club more, just completely, got rid of Manchester United, don't care about them anymore, and definitely made the right decision. That's sort of just it's just spiraled really into like my love of the club now, where I'm a passionate, season ticket holder, go up to the games every week, and just it's sort of got ingrained into me at a young age. So I suppose that's I got my dad to thank for that.
Amazing. So a lot of us have done that journey in reverse, where we've played sort of Exeter and Plymouth and Torquay. That's a hell of a journey, but that's your home journey in reverse. That's a long slog.
Yeah, every 2 weeks I end up doing that. So it's about 6 hours up. It's not too bad once you've done it plenty of times. And I've got a train station right outside my house, so just hop on the train to Waterloo, quick hop over to Marylebone on the tube, and then Marylebone to Wycombe. So it sounds a lot nicer than it actually is. I mean, sitting there for 3 hours on a train in the morning when you're just anticipating a game, like, I just want to get there, watch the game, and then if you don't get the result you want, you got 3 hours to sit and digest it on the way home. So it can be quite nice sometimes once we've won, go home buzzing. But yeah, it's a long old trek, but I don't mind it. I love supporting Wycombe, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
And how we met the other week, I guess, or last month, you're an aspiring sports journo as well, and you've been able to combine that with your love of Wycombe Wanderers and football.
yeah, it's sort of the whole journalism thing came out of nowhere, really. Like, if you had asked me at the start of the season if I'd have been doing journalism, I thought, crikey, what have I done? But no, it's sort of just, yeah, James from the Buxbury Press, good friend of mine, he asked if I wanted to cover him at Exeter in on Boxing Day, because obviously I'm a local and he couldn't make it down to the game. And I did that, really enjoyed it. Obviously got to, first time I've actually met Matt Bloomfield as well, so I was a little bit starstruck when I was there interviewing him after the game. But yeah, it was really cool. And I think it's a few weeks later, he asked me to do Burton as well. And like you said, we met there, and it sort of just spurred on my love a bit. And then I got this opportunity at a company called LSM Sports News, which was formerly Look Sport Media. They were looking for writers, and I applied, and they took me and Dara from the Pint Size Preview on. So we're the two sort of Wycombe writers at the minute. He's been, I know he likes to write his deep dive sort of pieces and that, but match reports is sort of my area of expertise, and I've done 3 so far for Look Sport at the recent home games: Fleetwood, Peterborough, and Oxford. So I've covered 2. I haven't actually covered a loss yet, so I think I'm a little bit of a good luck charm. So hopefully, if I come up to Barnsley, we can keep that record going.
Oh, fingers crossed. It's a fine art doing a match report as well. Where can people find your work? So are you on Twitter? Do you post your articles out?
Yes, so my Twitter is at Jayden Wilkins LSM. I'll every time I write an article, I'll give it a retweet, because they normally post it on their Twitter. I normally give it a retweet or post it myself. Yeah, Look Sport have honestly they've been great. It's really good. I've got their full backing as well to do any written content around Wycombe. So if you're looking for anything Wycombe Wanderers, match reports or deep dives, opinions, anything like that, just Look Sport is the place to go, because me and Dara have got some pretty exciting stuff planned.
Good stuff. How do you find sort of crossing the line into journalism for being a fan? Because I remember when I did it, I really struggled at the start, because, obviously you have to kind of think a little differently and be a little calmer around games, and certainly after games.
Yeah, I mean, obviously football can be a frustrating old sport, can't it? And going from a fan into a journalist, you have to sort of, it's obviously going to be a learning curve for me, and I'm glad that I get to do it young. So when I, grow up a little bit, I'll be able to, I'll be well experienced in the art of keeping calm. But yeah, it's sometimes you do get frustrated at football, but when I've just like enjoyed the day out or something, it's just I look at the bigger picture and think, okay, I can dissect this maybe result we didn't, if we got a draw and we deserved to win or something. I can dissect it, look at the positives, and take stuff away when you're doing the match report, rather than focusing on we've not got the result we wanted and things like that. So yeah, it is definitely a massive learning curve to take being a journalist from a fan, but I think I'm managing quite well. I don't particularly lose my head anymore, so that's good. Obviously, it's just there's a lot of passion involved with me and Wycombe, so I'm sure everyone's seen my reaction to Butcher's goal on on Wednesday night on the Pint Size Preview. So I think I think you can tell my passion's definitely still there, but hopefully in a positive way rather than a negative way.
Well, anyone writing about the club is always a bonus. We love to encourage people to do so. You've mentioned the Pint Size Preview as well. For our listeners who aren't aware, what is that?
The Pint Size Preview is it's a sort of fan initiative by George, the Wycombe Way, and he's brought a decent group of us together. I think there's about 7 or 8 of us now. He's brought a group of us together. Every Thursday and Sunday we sit down and just have a chat about Wycombe. It's sort of like an informal podcast, really. So it's just a few mates having a drink and talking about the football whilst it's recorded. And we've had some fairly decent listening. We've had, I think we get like 20 or something every week tune in, so it's not too bad. And we had the I'm sure everyone's familiar with the deadline day special where we had about 100 when Pete Coohig announced Saxon early. I think we had 190 people in there, and I was hosting. I was sat at work just nervous all day, just counting down the minutes till we went live. And obviously Pete comes on. I knew he was going to come on, but I looked at the top left because you can see the little view account in the top left of the screen. It's 190. I was like, oh my gosh, wow, where have all these people come from? So I was sort of just keep it calm. But yeah, it went really successfully, and honestly, thank you so much to the club for getting involved with it. I know they're a huge supporter of fan content. It's really, really good to see because like you said, everyone writing about the club is a massive bonus because we want to spread the word of the best club in the land, don't we?
Brilliant, absolutely. I was with Pete when he was doing it. It was lovely. We were in the pub, so we were waiting. We had a few hours to kill while I think Nigel Lonvite was coming down for his medical. So we went out to get some food, and we had Sky Sports on the big screen next to us, and then you guys. And I love the fact you were all wearing shirts and ties. It was very impressive.
I was absolutely sweating in my room. It was boiling in it. But yeah, everyone made the effort. We sort of spoke about it before. I said, if we make an effort, we're all going to wear shirts and ties. And then everyone sort of did when they all turned up, and it was quite nice. I think me and James were the only ones sporting the yellow ties, but it was nice of everyone to make an effort. So I know we did get a bit of flack from a Pompey fan on Twitter saying grown men wearing suits. That's embarrassing. But what's not a little bit of fun, eh?
Well, if you haven't got any away fans having a go at you, then are you really existing? I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? So...
Exactly. That's what football's all about.
Right, let's crack on then. We're going to start off with something old. Now, this is your favourite ever Wycombe Wanderers memory. It could be anything.
There are definitely plenty over the years. And obviously, I probably, if it wasn't COVID, obviously, I probably would have said Wembley 2020 because... the win there against your local rivals, going to Championship first time, memorable evening. But I'll actually say Torquay away, was it 2014? We stayed up.
Yeah, your local game.
Yeah, my local game. So it sort of lined up nicely. I think that might have even been my first game of the season that season because obviously I didn't get to go up much. But just the whole day, just celebrating with the other fans. We took so many fans down there, and just it was really memorable. I remember that McClure goal where he hit it on the volley. It's just sort of a long kick forward, just hit it in the volley straight over the keeper. It's just a fantastic finish. And Sir Colin Daniel, I believe, as he's now known, obviously scored that goal for Mansfield, and Bristol Rovers were sort of very unlucky not to score. I think they hit the bar about 5 times or something. But I remember as soon as the word went round that Bristol Rovers had lost, just the eruption of noise just from the Wycombe fans. It was something special. And then obviously the gaffer at the time, Ainsworth, came over and celebrated with the fans like he said he envisioned. And it was just it was so special. And obviously the rest is history, I suppose. Next season we were at Wembley, so it was quite a turnaround, wasn't it?
Unbelievable turn. You mentioned your dad took you to your first game at Torquay as well a few years before that. Presumably, and he'd sort of given you the history of the magnitude of Wycombe becoming a Football League club. And I guess I remember that day, and it's been spoken about by lots of fans as well. It did feel like going to a funeral, as if we were then going back to our non-league days again. It felt a bit like a funeral, but then obviously it became a huge party.
Yeah, it was it was a weird one, wasn't it? Because I felt like there was a lot of rumours going around that maybe if we were relegated out of the Football League, the club would cease to exist. And it was obviously there's a lot of emotional weight to the game. And I just remember saying to Dad, if Wycombe get relegated, is there going to be a Wycombe? And he just said, I don't know. Like it was quite scary going into that game. But as soon as we got underway, I thought, I didn't really look back. We were obviously relying on the other score at Bristol Rovers. But yeah, we went there, did the job, and thankfully managed to survive by the skin of our teeth. Yeah, and like you said, Dad did give me the lowdown because obviously back in Wycombe's non-league days, he played against them plenty of times at Lokes Park for Chesham and Aylesbury. So he said like Wycombe have come a long way in the last 20-30 years, and obviously whereas Chesham and Aylesbury probably aren't at the heights that Wycombe are at the minute. But yeah, it's if we went down to non-league, I suppose it would be completely different story now. I suppose we probably wouldn't be an established League One club and have had our year in the Championship. But that's football sometimes, and I'm very glad that we've had the sort of upwards trajectory we have since that day at Torquay.
That was Gareth's first full season in charge, and at the time, obviously, he had very different circumstances to what we have now. He was sort of very low budget, lots of external challenges as well. He was under a lot of pressure, and the rumor is that had Wycombe had the money, they would have fired him that season. Then that would have cut off all of what happened afterwards, which would have been terrible. Matt Bloomfield's in his first season now as well. I suppose a lot of people kind of forget. They look at Gareth and think, oh yeah, best manager in the club's history. But at the start, he had to really learn quickly, didn't he? And I guess Matt Bloomfield, this is his first full season as a manager too, and he's learning.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we gave Ainsworth time, whether that was to do with money or anything. Like, yeah, we gave him the time, and it turned out to be a massive success, didn't it? So, obviously, I think we got to be patient with Matt. He's learning a lot. I think what I've seen so far, he has really impressed me. He's sort of come in, kept the culture of the club going, which was, I think, the most important thing for Wycombe, especially with the culture that Ainsworth built. Obviously, being an Ainsworth era player, Matt Bloomfield for many years, and working alongside him as a coach, I feel like he was the only man going to get the job once Gareth moved on, and it's so good to see, because everyone at Wycombe wants Matt to succeed, don't they? Like, he's such a likable guy. He loves the club. He's been at this club longer than I've been on the planet, which is crazy. So yeah, honestly, he's I think he's doing a great job now. He's taken us to Wembley in his first full season. Like, what more could you ask for, really? It's obviously a bit of a transitional season, but yeah, I'm happy and really enjoying life under Bloomfield. I think he's doing a great job, and long may it continue.
Which is the perfect segue into our next question. Something new. Your favourite player in the current squad?
I think a lot of people would be able to guess this answer going off my Twitter handle, but I'm going to prove them all wrong. Obviously, I do love Joe Lowe. I will say that. I actually met him for the first time at Oxford and shook his hand. I was like, oh, it's Joe. I need to tell you I'm Joe Lowe Torre. But I didn't get a chance. Maybe you'll find out another day. But yeah, actually, my favourite member of the squad, and I'm sure you'll see why when I say this, David Wheeler. Obviously a former Exeter player as well, so we got a little bit of a connection there. I just think he's such a nice guy, and we've had a lot of chats sort of about living down in Exeter. He used to live in a place down the road from me called Topsham, so it's sort of we had a chat, and someone in our village, so we live in a little village, there's a guy called Kenny who's good friends with my dad, who actually used to sit next to David's wife at Exeter games when he played for Exeter. And apparently in the warm-ups once, David actually broke his wife's arm or something with a shot. So yeah,
wow.
And they were sat together. So him and David have always been really good friends. And we sort of I think it's a couple of seasons ago now, we brought up to David, and he looked at us like, "What? Who are you?"
How do you know this?
Yeah.
Well, I'm certainly going to be asking that when I see him this week.
Yeah, that'd be quite good. Yeah, it's yeah, I sort of have that connection with David about, the local area. Seen him play plenty of times for Exeter, because, if I can't get to Wycombe, just hop on the train 20 minutes in Exeter, just down the road, go and watch them for a nice day out, do a bit of scouting or something. So yeah, honestly, it's I was so buzzing when we signed him. I think we got him on the same day as Fred Onyedinma. I remember that day we were flying out to the Algarve in Portugal, and there was all sorts of rumours happening. I didn't have my phone for a few hours because obviously it's on the plane. As soon as we landed, I was like, right, get the phone out, get on Twitter, let's look at the transfer news. And I saw we'd signed Fred and Dave in the same day. So I was like, oh, perfect, wow. Get a holiday and two excellent players.
He's a brilliant player, David Wheeler, but he's a fantastic guy as well. And I think he embodies the spirit of Wycombe, because as a footballer, he's a bit of an anomaly. He's sort of politically motivated. He's sort of up to speed on lots of things away from football, climate change being one of them. But it just shows you at Wycombe, you can be whoever you want to be. You're encouraged to be yourself, I guess.
Yeah, he's got a great personality, and he fits right into the sort of Wycombe sort of ethic. And yeah, obviously the stuff he does outside of football, with his climate change stuff and that, it's good to see, players using their voice for good. And David's one of them players who, you just can't not like, really. He's obviously the Swiss Army knife. He can play anywhere on the pitch, really. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in goal at some point soon. But yeah, he's a fantastic guy. Really does embody like what it means to be a Wycombe Wanderers player. And honestly, I'm so glad we've had him for the amount of time we have, because I feel like just he's such a talented player as well. Like the stuff he can do, in the air as well as with his feet. Just really, really, really good player for us over the years.
Right, let's move on to something borrowed. Now, this is either your favourite ever loanee or player that you'd wished that we'd signed, but we never did.
Oh, this one that I actually took the most time about thinking because I could go with, like Eze or someone or Freddie Potts, but I feel like that would have been said plenty of times. So someone who I'm not sure how many Wycombe fans will remember. I think it was the 2011 season where he was in League One. We had a certain Italian striker named Marcello Trotta on loan from Fulham. And I remember, I think he scored a hat trick once, and he just became my favourite player because he scored a hat trick. Me being like young and naive, I was like, "Oh, he scored
against Exeter, wasn't it? On Boxing Day.
It was against Exeter, yes. Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure I was there, and he scored a hat trick, and that's sort of what made me fall in love with Marcello Trotta. And I think he went on to play for Brentford, and then had quite a sort of successful career in Italian football. I think he was, last I heard of him, he was out in Serie B with somebody. I'm not too sure what happened after that, but yeah, I would have loved to have kept him around because I thought when he played for us, he was excellent, and obviously scoring the hat trick against Exeter, he went into my good books instantly.
I've tracked him down because I think, certainly about 18 months ago, I found out he was playing for a Serie C club, and he's not really on sort of socials. So I went onto the website of the club, and it's all in Italian. I don't speak Italian. I emailed in with the Google Translate saying, I work for Wycombe Wanderers. I'd love to speak to Marcello Trotta. No reply. So,
at least you tried.
I did try. It would be great to get him on the podcast because, yeah, I think he played 8 games for Wycombe, scored 6 goals, and then he was recalled. And then, but it's cult hero time, isn't it? When that sort of happens, people love that.
Yeah, no, he was. I don't have much memory of him, obviously, from the 8 games, but that hat trick at Exeter, just it's someone who you wish you'd had for longer, really, isn't it? Because of obviously, his good goal scoring records. But it's a real shame that we didn't manage to see much of him. But glad he went on to have a bit of a successful career in Italian football.
Yeah, superb. Good choice. Right, on to something blue. Now, this is your favourite piece of club merchandise and or your best idea for a piece of merchandise that the club have yet to produce, but probably should.
My favourite piece of merchandise, I've always been a fan of a bucket hat. And when we brought out them bucket hats, I was ecstatic. I actually haven't bought one yet, and I really need to. Like, I keep going into the club shop and just getting a bit sidetracked. I'm like, I just need to go there, buy a bucket hat. So I need someone to remind me at the Barnsley game to go and buy a bucket hat and wear it in the press box. If you see me in the press box with a bucket hat on, you'll know I've remembered. So yeah, that's my favourite piece of merchandise. And as for I was thinking last night, and I don't know if you've seen on Twitter recently for something new we could do. I don't know if you've seen the Wolvesasaurus.
No, what's this?
Oh, so there's this sort of tweet went viral. It was like a Wolverhampton Wanderers fan or something. They found this piece of merchandise on the club website. It was a dinosaur with a Wolves badge on. It's called a Wolvesasaurus, like a little plush dinosaur. And I've just been scrolling through Twitter. Every single club on planet Earth does a dinosaur with like their badge on or kit on or something. Like, I've seen so many of them. There's like Bradford, Burnley, Watford's, Plymouth. I was just researching, and there was like this whole thread on Twitter of which dinosaur would win in a fight out of all these clubs. So if we could throw our own submission into that would be perfect. Have a Wycombeosaurus or a Chairboyosaurus or something.
A Wycombe dinosaur. I like this.
Yeah, a Wycombe dinosaur. That's my contribution to the club shop idea.
Brilliant. What would it be called? Did they have names, these, or are they just called sort of,
It's sort of something to do with the clubs. So obviously you had the Wolvesasaurus. You had, some of them were just called like dinosaur names with club badge on or something, which I thought was a bit boring. But yeah, there was a Argylosaurus or something for Plymouth. So I was thinking about names. I was like, could we do a Wycombeosaurus, a Chairboyosaurus, or something like that?
Chairasaurus,
yeah, Chairasaurus. That's the one. Yeah.
I remember there's the Goonosaurus, isn't there? What's he called? I think,
the mascot from Arsenal.
Yeah. My friends are
Gunnosaurus.
Arsenal fans, which is a terrible affliction, but they got married and they paid for the Goonosaurus to be at their wedding, to witness their wedding.
Turned up at their wedding.
Yeah, so I think once these things get out of hand, there's a lucrative career there for someone. I'm not sure if Bluey's ever sort of attended a wedding of a Wycombe Wanderers fan, but maybe that's a service the club should offer.
Well, when I get married, I'm going to be inviting Bodger, so I'll be the
Bodger,
first
sorry,
one.
not Bluey. I'm showing my age. Bluey the Swan. But yeah, Bodger should be. We should hire Bodger out for weddings.
Yeah, we should. Bluey was a little bit before my time, actually. I know we had Bluey before Bodger, but yeah, if we hire Bodger out for weddings, we might generate a bit more money for the club. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Google Bluey the Swan. It was a huge swan with a massive sort of beer gut in a Wycombe shirt, massive. And I've always wondered about these because they're obviously there for kids. But if I was a kid, I'd be absolutely terrified if sort of an 8-foot swan appeared with a massive beer gut and a Wycombe shirt. I'd find that quite intimidating.
Yeah, some of the mascots do confuse. I think it was the Partick Thistle one a couple of years ago. I don't know if you saw that one.
That's my favourite one. I love that.
That was terrifying. I don't know how they've designed that and thought, oh yeah, kids will love this. That is terrifying. That scared me, and I was like 18 years old when that came out. So God knows what the kids thought of that.
Worth looking up the story. David Shrigley's a Scottish artist who was a Partick fan and was told to come up with a new badge and a mascot. And he said that all mascots are these cuddly sort of, like bears and, and all these other things. And he said that actually football fans, when you look at pictures of football fans, they're either sort of wildly celebrating or being wildly angry. And he wanted to make a mascot that was a reflection on a football fan. And so when football fans said that this is terrifying, I hate it, he was like saying, essentially, you're saying you're looking into a mirror and not liking what you're seeing, basically. That was the whole concept of it. I loved it. And now I think he's one of the best ones. But yeah, I think Bodger at Weddings, I think we should offer that in the club shop as a thing.
I'll invite him to be my best man.
Amazing. This is the best suggestion we've had so far, bar none. Bodger at Weddings. Perfect. Jayden, it's been brilliant to chat to you and get your input on your Wycombe Wanderers memories. Wembley, are you going to go as a fan or a journo?
Oh, I'd see this was a debate because obviously a doubt at Wembley is a journo is every journo's dream, I suppose. But I love going to away games as a fan, just having a good time with my mates. So I'm sort of leaning towards a fan at the minute, but we'll see. I'd love to. Obviously, I just can't wait to experience a day at Wembley. I love it so much going to Wembley. And I went there last year with. I think it was the League Two playoff final, Stockport against Carlisle in the Carlisle end, and Carlisle won. I was just like, if this could just be Wycombe one year, just get to celebrate with all the other Wycombe fans, it would just be perfect. And yeah, hopefully this year is the year I finally get to fulfill that. So that's why I'm sort of leaning towards a fan experience rather than a journo. But we shall see, I suppose.
And I saw Rob Kewitt yesterday. The message is that Wembley, it's weeks and weeks away yet. We got some big league games. So wouldn't it be nice to get some wins on the board now, enough wins between now and Wembley that we can really, really enjoy that day on April the 7th?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Obviously, we start off with Cheltenham on Tuesday night, which you'd like to think is going to be 3 points. But yeah, we're sort of over that run of tough games, Peterborough, Bolton, Oxford and Stevenage, and got some more, no game's easy in this league, is it? But potentially more favourable ones coming up. So hopefully we can get a good 3 or 4 wins under our belt before then. And yeah, we can really start to enjoy the day at Wembley and hopefully get to lift that lovely Bristol Street Motors trophy.
Right, that's your lot for this week's show. Many thanks to Jayden for his wonderful memories. He mentioned Torquay a few times in that chat, and it's worth mentioning here that Torquay United are in dire straits right now financially. Our best wishes go to their fans and hopefully a solution can be found. The birthplace of the modern era for Wycombe Wanderers, for many of us, was Plainmoor. Hope things get better down there. Right, we'll be back next week with hopefully news of some Wycombe Wanderers points in League One. Until then, come on you Blues.